All right, so you know those crazy visuals, those reality-bending effects and everything everywhere all at once?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, the company behind them, Runway, just made a move that could completely change Hollywood as we know it.
Yeah, it's a bigger deal than people might realize at first.
Totally, and that's why we're doing this deep dive, right?
Yeah.
So just in case you missed it, Runway, they're the AI masterminds behind those mind-blowing visual effects. They just partnered with Lionsgate.
Big studio, for sure.
Huge. We're talking John Wick, The Hunger Games.
And this is not just, a handshake deal. This is the first time a major studio has directly partnered with an AI video model provider. It's a big deal.
Okay, let's break that down for a second, because I think it's easy to miss how big this actually is.
Mm-hmm.
What does it actually mean for Lionsgate to have this direct connection to Runway's tech?
Well, imagine having access to a custom AI model.
Okay.
Trained on over 20,000 films and TV shows. That's Lionsgate's library, their entire vault.
Wow, so every fight scene in John Wick, every Hunger Games arena, are we talking like even Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, that's all being fed to an AI?
Yeah. And it's not just about recreating those things. This AI can learn the studio's style, its own cinematic language.
As you're saying.
Let's say they need some crazy, death-defying stunt in the next John Wick film.
Right.
They might not even need to put a stuntman at risk. This AI could potentially just generate it.
See, that's amazing, but it's also kind of unsettling at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happens to the stunt performers, the location scouts, all those jobs if AI can just step in?
Oh, absolutely. There are massive implications there. We should definitely unpack that.
We should, but maybe another time.
Yeah, for sure. But back to Lionsgate. Think of the potential cost savings alone. Not to mention, obviously, the creative possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's like giving a filmmaker this whole new toolbox filled with tools we're only just beginning to even understand, let alone use.
And what's interesting to me is that this partnership doesn't just give Lionsgate access to any old AI model. It gives them a custom one.
Custom, what does that mean in this context?
So it means Runway is going to create a model trained specifically on Lionsgate's content.
Interesting.
Think of it this way. A general AI video model is like a chef who can cook anything, right?
Sure.
But this custom model, it's like a chef trained only in the Lionsgate kitchen. They know all the studio's recipes, what spices they like, how they present their dishes.
I'm getting a very specific picture in my head right now.
It's about AI making Lionsgate movies.
So it's not just AI making movies in general, it's AI making very specific movies in a very specific style. That's fascinating.
Exactly. And it lets Runway really tailor their tech to the needs and the aesthetics of Lionsgate's filmmaking.
Okay, so we've talked about Lionsgate, right? It's like they've been given the keys to the candy store with this tech. But let's flip the script for a second. What does Runway get out of all of this? I mean, this has to be huge for them, too.
Oh, absolutely. This is a massive win for Runway on a number of levels. First off, it puts them on the map in the AI world. Partnering with a big Hollywood studio like this gives them instant credibility, visibility. That's hard to get any other way. I mean, think about it. They've got Google in their corner, and now they're rubbing shoulders with one of the biggest names in Hollywood.
They're like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of AI and filmmaking.
Laughs.
I like that. And just like any power couple, they both stand to benefit a lot from this kind of collaboration.
So it's not just about the technology. It's about the reputation that comes with it. It's the connections. It's getting a foot in the door in Hollywood.
Exactly. This partnership gives Runway access to all of Lionsgate's resources, their creative teams, their decades of experience making movies.
It's like a crash course in movie magic, but with an AI twist. So on the one hand, Runway gets to learn from the best in the business, but it's got to be more than just learning, right? It's a huge opportunity to really push their tech further.
100%. Think of it this way. Every film Lionsgate makes with Runway's help, it basically becomes a case study, a real-world test for the AI.
Right.
And the data from those films, that's pure gold when it comes to improving the AI. So it's like this feedback loop. Lionsgate gets cutting-edge tools, and then Runway gets all this real-world data to make those tools even better. But, I mean, this is bigger than just these two companies, don't you think? This feels like a watershed moment for AI and film overall.
Totally agree. This partnership is a huge sign to the whole industry that AI isn't some far-off thing. It's here now, it's ready, and it's changing how movies are made.
I bet other studios and production companies are watching this super closely.
Oh, absolutely. This is sending ripples. I'll probably start seeing more studios looking into AI partnerships, more investment in this tech, maybe even new film companies popping up that are all about AI.
It's like the Wild West of filmmaking all over again.
Right.
New frontiers, new pioneers, everyone's trying to strike gold.
It's a great comparison. And just like in those old Westerns, there are going to be winners and losers. Some filmmakers, they'll embrace these AI tools, others might resist.
It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Totally.
Speaking of embracing new tools, it's not just this Lionsgate deal, right? Runway's had a busy year. They've had other big announcements that have been maybe overshadowed a bit with this partnership stealing the show.
Yeah, they've been busy. One that caught my eye is their new API for developers.
Okay, for those of us who aren't programmers, break that down. What's an API and why should we care?
An API, or application programming interface, it's basically how different software programs talk to each other.
Got it.
So in this case, Runway's API lets developers integrate their AI models directly into other video editing software.
So instead of needing to use Runway's own separate tools, filmmakers could use their existing software, but with Runway's AI built in.
Exactly. It'd be like you could generate a really complicated visual effect, and it would only take a few clicks right there in your editing timeline, no more jumping between programs.
Streamlines everything.
Exactly. And it makes these tools accessible to more people, opens up a lot of creative possibilities.
It's like what used to take a whole team of VFX artists can now be done by any filmmaker with a laptop.
That's the potential here. It's not even just about efficiency. This kind of accessibility could lead to a wave of experimentation, filmmakers trying things they never would have considered before.
So we might see a totally new visual language in film because of AI.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting. Runway also just came out with their Gen 3 Alpha model. It has a new video-to-video feature.
Okay, I have to be honest, that sounds like something right out of Back to the Future. What are we talking about here?
Imagine you take existing footage, maybe an old home video or a scene from a classic film, and you use AI to transform it into something totally different.
So, like, I could take a video of my dog catching a Frisbee and turn it into a fire-breathing dragon.
Okay, maybe not quite that extra, not yet at least, but yeah, you get the idea. This tech has the potential to change how we think about old footage, special effects, even historical preservation.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you start to think about all the possibilities. We could see historical figures come to life in ways we never even imagined.
Right.
Or entire films, like classics, but reimagined with totally different visuals.
It really makes you think. And this is still so early for this technology.
Right.
Imagine what these tools will be capable of in 5-10 years.
It's exciting, but it's also kind of daunting, right? Like, with all this talk about AI, it's easy to get caught up in all the what-ifs.
Sure.
And maybe even feel a little unsure about what this means for the future of filmmaking.
Yeah, I think that's understandable, to be honest. Whenever we see a new technology shake up an entire industry, there's always going to be a period of adjustment.
Right.
And yeah, maybe a little anxiety.
So how do you think this is going to play out? Is AI going to replace human directors, screenwriters, all of that? Or are we just going to be watching movies made by algorithms from now on?
I think, it's important to keep in mind that filmmaking at its heart is about stories, right?
It is.
And AI, it can be an amazing tool for making those visuals better, even creating them from scratch.
Total.
But a truly great film, it hinges on its characters, its themes, that emotional impact.
Yeah.
Those are all areas where human creativity is going to be essential, I think, always.
That makes sense. So it's not about replacing humans with AI. It's about finding ways for them to work together, to collaborate.
Exactly. AI can handle the technical side, like, let's say, making those complex special effects, or even suggesting different shots to the director, things like that.
Okay.
But it's human filmmakers. They're the ones who bring the vision, the emotion, that artistry that really connects with people watching.
So maybe we shouldn't be afraid of AI. We should be figuring out how to use it to tell better stories.
I think that's the key. This tech has the power to really open up filmmaking, give more people access to these incredible tools, and let them tell their stories, And who knows what amazing new voices, new perspectives we'll discover because of that.
It's going to be fascinating to watch it all unfold. This partnership between Runway and Lionsgate, it's really just the beginning. It feels like a glimpse into the future where technology and creativity are totally intertwined and, well, The possibilities really do seem limitless. Thanks for diving into this with me. This has been great.
Yeah, this was fun. Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, make sure you keep an eye on this because things are about to get really interesting. Until next time, keep exploring.